What is going on, everybody? Thanks for tuning back in. This is going to be a market update video. Just kind of my thoughts on where we're at because we are launching right now. We're at 9,700 almost on the Bitcoin chart here. And we're seeing some massive gains. EOS up 30% from yesterday, 30% in Tron. This is crazy, sitting at 7 cents. So, I mean, we're seeing some massive gains. And if you're using Profit Trailer, I mean, you're probably making some money. And if you're trading on your own volition, then you're probably doing all right because everything is green. One thing I wanted to note is that I promise you guys, I'm going to be putting out a video on Profit Trailer feeder settings. I actually already have the video content like laid out and ready to go. I'm just testing the settings at the moment, making sure that they're working. There's no bugs or anything. I'll be getting those out as soon as possible. Be on the lookout for that in the next, few days. And subscribe to the channel and hit that bell notification so you do get updated when I finally release that. But it's been working pretty well. So let's see. What are we at in Bitcoin? Let's just dig right into it. So I know this is kind of a messy chart that we're looking at. I have the RSI pulled up, the volume, and I have these two lines here. So this ascending line, this sort of trend line here that we're working with is a pretty parabolic move that we're looking at here. But this line has been acting as pretty nice support. Now, at some point, this is gonna have to break down. Let me just remove the volume and put in these EMAs. So if we look at these, I'll add 2 EMAs on there. Come on, there we go. All right, let's look at like the 55 and we'll look at the 200-ish. We'll see where we're sitting on that. Let me make these bigger for all of you guys watching on mobile. That way you guys can actually see this. I don't know why this is going so slow. Okay, we'll make this one red and we'll make this one thicker as well. So now hopefully you guys can see that. Basically I have this ascending line here. We're moving really far away from these EMAs. So I'll zoom in so you guys can kind of get a better idea. In past, if you're a trader and you use EMAs quite a bit, you come to realize that once you pull away too far from the EMA lines, especially this 55 one, that's more of the faster moving EMA that we're watching right now, you tend to see these market corrections, right? To kind of get towards the average, right? It needs to come down. The markets need to cool off a little bit. And so you kind of saw it here earlier today. But we ended up, the bulls kicked right back into gear and we had pulled away from this EMA even more. And then in the past maybe half an hour or so, the same thing has happened. And we are just on this pretty wild bull run in Bitcoin. So it's been pretty cool. Now my thoughts are, we will see a correction. This is okay. So for those of you who are out there saying like, man, should I have bought in? Should I buy in now? This is not financial advice. So don't take this, for financial advice at all. I'm just some dude giving you guys my thoughts and my opinions, but this is what I'm looking at. If you were looking to buy into Bitcoin, I would wait personally. This is going to come back down towards these EMAs. I've been seeing some videos today, reading some articles. Technically speaking, if you're just looking at EMAs, there's a case to be made that we still are in a bear market. Now, it doesn't feel like it, and the altcoin market has certainly picked up steam as well. And I don't think we're going to go down and test new lows. But I think there 100% will be a bit of a corrective movement. And that's why I drew this Fibonacci retracement here from low to high. And I didn't draw it right at the high. And the reason for that is it kind of doesn't support this support line that I'm drawing here. And this is sitting at 9,000. And I think this is going to be our first major support level that we need to look at. So what I did is I drew this thing up and we're about to reach it. This is kind of my price target for the top. So, I could be completely wrong. This thing could, with the way we've been seeing Bitcoin kind of crush through certain price levels that no one really expected in the past week or so, this thing could just continue upward for a while longer. Bitcoin seems to do the opposite of what everybody thinks. But my kind of price target here to exit my trade on Bitcoin, my certain trades that I have, or if you're in trades right now and you're looking for the top, I would say it's sitting at like 9,750, 9,800, somewhere in there. Just looking at the price action that we're at right now, we're at 9,700 right now. So not too far to go. And this probably wouldn't be a bad exit point right here. And I drew this Fibonacci, this 0.236 line coincides pretty precisely with this 9,000 mark. And the 9,000 mark, I drew that because there's been a lot of consolidation here in the past, and we had our more recent highs in the past back here at about the 9,000 mark. And as you can see, you continue to draw this line back. I like to look at previous price action for a judge of what could happen in the future. And so, there's been a lot of price movement in this range. And generally speaking, when that happens, you're going to see some, this act as either support or resistance. And now we're above this line. So we can expect this to act as some kind of resistance or some kind of support line coming in the next, I don't know, few hours, could be a day. Or it could never reach this, and we could continue upward quite a bit higher, maybe even up into this region to the 10,500 range, which would be really wild if we saw that. I would be pretty shocked. But if we did, more power to it, more power to the markets. If we did see that, I would kind of expect somewhere in the range of where we're at right now as a retracement. Kind of hard to say, kind of hard to predict those kind of things, but this would be my main call for the time being, and you just kind of have to watch it and understand that when it does correct, it could bounce through a couple fib zones. It could bounce all the way down to the 50% retracement, which would be at about 8,100. Even towards the 8,500 mark would be the 0.382 line. And that would be a great buying opportunity for me. I'm going to look for these fib levels once we do find our top, and I'm going to be laddering in to multiple fib levels, and I'll set up limit orders, and we'll see which ones get triggered. So that's kind of my outlook. If you haven't bought in yet, you're afraid of missing the run. We're definitely getting towards the tail end. If you look at the RSI index here, we're on the 1 hour chart, and we'll zoom out a little bit, get a more macro view. But on this 1 hour, you can see it lines up pretty nice. We got way overbought here. We dropped back down. We got overbought in this region. We ended up kind of fizzling out here, coming underneath that 55-day EMA, which I kind of expect to happen at some point in the future, in the near term, that we will dip below this 55 EMA. And we're very overbought right now. You see the overbought signal here in the RSI. So we came down quite a bit from that. It was about a 5% retracement. And the same sort of thing could happen up in here. So let's bring this back out to the 4 hour. And if we bring this out into a 4 hour chart, we're definitely overbought once again. If you can see, we have 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7 4 hour candles that are in the green. At some point this is going to break down. It just has to. It's the way the markets work. And if you think otherwise, or I get trolls on the video saying it's going to continue up, I feel bad for your portfolio. So let me move out to the 1 day and give you guys a little bit more of a macro view as well. We're looking really good. Like this is exactly what we've all been hoping for in the markets. But once again, we're getting to that overbought territory. We're approaching the 70 mark, which generally speaking, most traders look at that as the overbought signal. And what I want to do is just kind of bring you back to the last time we got overbought like this. We haven't hit that 70 mark since the all-time highs region. We haven't been above that since about that region here. And that's when we saw the first corrective wave here. And then before that, it was quite some time ago, October time, November. And then you are seeing these retracements, pretty sizable retracements of 30% or so. And that's kind of why I'm sort of waiting to enter a 30% retracement if we just use previous price action. would put us at around 7,100. And that might not be what people want to hear. But, when these institutional traders and these big whales who are basically manipulating the Bitcoin market, if you can't tell, you bring it into the 15-minute chart and we zoom in here, these 15-minute candles that are looking like rocket ships, that is big money coming in and making big time trades. And the same thing happens in the bearish direction as well. And so we saw it here this was definitely an accumulation phase for probably a lot of institutional traders, a lot of big whales, a lot of guys who have a lot of money. I mean, look at this. This is insane. The amount of price action in about a 30-minute window. I mean, you're looking at maybe a 25%. Why is it doing that? What did I just do? So yeah, I mean, you're looking at a 20% gain or so. So basically, my idea is, if we do retrace, that is just profit taking, and then the bots will kind of take over the high frequency trading bots, and generally that this manipulation tends to happen in the Bitcoin to US dollar trading pairs. And then the reason for that is because, Coinbase has their custodial accounts that these mom and pop businesses, these hedge funds, these smaller hedge funds can come in with I think it's around $10 million, and they can start to set up their high frequency trading bots with Coinbase, and they're using GDAX and whatever, and they're using their US dollar Bitcoin pairs. And so with that, you're definitely going to see some of these massive candles, especially on the shorter time frames, because that's when they're making their moves. So, like I said, my goal is to kind of maybe time the top, see if you can grab the top and wait for a retracement so you can hop back in and take part in the next wave, because this isn't going to go to 50K overnight. You're going to see a step-by-step increasement, and this doesn't feel like a step-by-step because of the massive increases we've had since our recent lows of like 6,400. We're looking at about a 52% increase, and it doesn't feel like step-by-step, but in these markets, that's what it is, and you're going to see retracement, and it's just a matter of time until we see another relatively sizable retracement. And that's when I think a lot of these people who are FOMOing in right now will start to sell, and it'll probably drive the price down a bit more and give us a better buying opportunity. And the great thing is we don't have to worry because there are a lot of good news coming out. And this is just a kind of more of a funny news. Snoop Dogg is going to perform at Ripple's blockchain week. It's just kind of a dumb piece of news. I just thought it was funny. But that just means that more people who don't know about Bitcoin and Ripple and all of these cryptocurrencies, Snoop Dogg has his own, fan group and people who follow him. And, if he's at one of these events, it's going to make big news, and that opens up the doors to more retail investors coming in. So that's good news. This is kind of a service announcement for those of you who haven't been made aware of yet. My Ether wallet basically was somehow their DNS servers are being rerouted to some like Russian site from what I read. And, if you log in and if you log into the My Ether wallet when you're on a different website, now they have your codes, and they basically stole a ton of money. They stole $150,000 worth of crypto. So just, be careful when you're logging into My Ether wallet. I would just stay away for the time being until they figure it out. And then lastly, this is why I'm not worried if we do see a retracement even down to the 7,000 or whatever. It doesn't really matter. Hopefully it continues to rise, and this altcoin party can kind of keep going. But this is great news. So blockchain insurance policy is developed for hurricane-prone Puerto Rico. This is a cool read, but I'm kind of just bringing this up because I'm more interested in the fact that blockchain is being integrated into insurance policies. It's being integrated. It's probably going to be integrated into pension plans and all sorts of stuff to keep transparency. So I think that's huge. Big governments are going to start to use blockchain, and as an investor, this is awesome because this just brings more people to the cryptocurrency markets in general. So with that said, guys, please leave a like on this video. I'm trying to get as much exposure as possible, and that really helps. And if you're not subscribed already, please subscribe to the channel. And I will be updating you guys with my profit trailer feeder settings coming up real shortly. I just got to get the video uploaded to YouTube and we're all good. So I'll catch you guys in the next one.